Hello, welcome to Ask Sis Legal. My name is Sisceley Banks, legal assistant. Welcome. This is a channel for legal support staff. If you're an office administrator, you are welcome as well. Lawyers, any kind of clerical work. Mostly the target is legal, those that work in legal offices. Welcome. I am here with another video. And this one, I'm going to talk about what the legal secretaries, legal assistants, and paralegals do. Again, my background, 23 years in the legal field. I've been like the jack of all trades, receptionist, office assistant, administrative assistant, legal secretary, paralegal, legal assistant. So you name it, everything but a lawyer. So at one point I thought I wanted to go to law school, bomb the LSAT. Yeah, I admit it. But it is what it is. And I think I'm all right where I am. So majority of my background is with insurance defense, some family law, a little bit of bankruptcy, automotive aftermarket, general civil, working with district courts, circuit courts, court of appeals. And it's been quite a journey. You know, I do like the profession. It is rewarding. It has its challenges. And as I said before, you really got to have some backbone if you are going to work in legal. If you're the kind of person that gets your feelings hurt at the drop of a hat, you might want to look somewhere else because there's very little room for mercy in this profession. You can catch heat from your lawyers, your office administrators, your colleagues, your other co-worker, support staff persons, judge's clerk. Anybody ever been cursed out by a judge's clerk? I have. It's not fun. It's not fun. Does not feel good. Okay. As like I said before, know your court rules. Yeah. So, legal secretaries and legal assistants. Let's look up the definition. Because some people ask, well, is there a difference? Well, there can be, depending on what kind of office you're working in. Okay. So I'm looking this up online. Okay, I could just go ahead and tell you, but there are some changes in the language for the descriptions for legal secretary and legal assistant. So a legal secretary is a professional who supports the work of legal professionals, such as attorneys, solicitors, and barristers by performing a variety of administrative and legal tasks. Their duties can include preparing legal documents. Legal secretaries prepare legal documents such as contracts, agreements, pleadings, and correspondences. Legal secretaries are also responsible for scheduling hearings and appointments, and maintain court dockets and diaries. Filing. Legal secretaries must know the procedures for filing documents with the court. It's where you go to your state's court rules, including the number of copies required, fees, and e-filing procedures. A lot of courts now are moving on to electronic filing systems. Some courts are taking a little longer to get there, but it is very helpful. Legal secretaries provide information and direction to others. Okay, and here we go. Legal secretaries should have strong organizational and time management skills and be able to prioritize tasks and adapt to changing priorities. They should also have excellent attention to detail to avoid mistakes that could have serious legal consequences. Okay, we're going to go into that one last paragraph there. But now going to legal assistant. Let's see here. And I'm just looking this up online. Okay. There may be similar, but here we go. A legal assistant is a professional who provides administrative and clerical support to lawyers and other legal professionals. Legal assistants may perform tasks such as managing documents and files, scheduling appointments and court dates, and communicating with clients and other parties involved in legal matters. Okay, so I'm going to go back to legal secretary. I really like that definition better. Okay, that last paragraph that just laid it all out. Where'd it go? Oh, where'd it go? Okay, so anyway, I can't find it now. But anyway, sometimes, legal assistants are also called the paralegals. So it really depends on what office you're working in and the responsibilities that they have you doing, what they're having you schedule. Legal secretaries, I know we do a lot of the scheduling, making sure that court dates from the scheduling orders are on the calendar. The calendar is what we call the docket. And that consists of task, hearing dates, things like if you have discovery, meaning a list of questions that for the other party to answer, putting in the due dates, when that's due, calendaring hearing dates. If there's a motion, you want to calendar that in and then enter your reminders as tasks, things like that. But that attention to detail and communication is really big in our field. We do have to learn to communicate. I know some of us are working in difficult environments where that communication, there may be a block. There may be that hierarchy mindset, like where you're pretty much separated from the attorneys. They're in their circle, you're in your circle. I'm up here, you're down here. Just want to make sure you all know where, want to put you in your place kind of mentality, But I can say offices that work together as a team and meet on a regular do much better versus all this going in the office, closing the door, and then leaving and going for the day. There should be respect both ways. It's a two-way street. So some of us are, I'll just go ahead and say it, some of us are just straight up lazy, don't want to be told what to do. No, we are not perfect people. That's understandable. But if you are a part of a support staff team, you got to get your instructions and directions from somewhere. Whether it's the attorneys you're working with, whether you're working with the office administrator or whoever. And if you're a person that easily gets offended, why are they telling me what to do? I don't like this. I know what I'm doing. Let me tell you something. You cannot come up in the office acting like you know everything and don't want to be told what to do. There is a room for improvement, and let me tell you, a legal office, they will correct you publicly. They don't care nothing about your feelings. Oh, I'm hurt. They don't care. They will put you on Front Street in front of everybody and correct you right then and there, especially if you walk up in there with a suck attitude, thinking everything is supposed to be your way and that you should be served. That's not going to cut it, and you're not going to last there long. So don't do that. But you got to be open to change. Like it said, you have to be open to shifting priorities and adapting to changes that are happening in the office. There's always changes in legal. Nothing's, really set in stone. Like it's always going to be that way. There's always changes to the court rules, changes to court procedures, changes to your office. You may do something different this year from what you did last year, and you have to adapt to that. So leave room to be flexible in your environment. Anything that you're not sure of or you don't like, then that's a talk you need to have with your office management and see if y'all could come to some kind of mutual agreement. So it is a field. We have to take our work seriously. So let's call a spade here. Majority of us out here, I'm just going beyond, the legal support staff here. Majority of us out here getting these jobs because there's a financial need. I mean, it is what it is. And it's rare for most of us to join the office because we want to help assist or help make it better, or to share our knowledge or wisdom, whatever it is we may have. I was talking to one young lady who was just stepping into the profession. I think she's getting ready to graduate, or she might have already graduated. But I told her that it's a great profession, and to have something else on the side. One of the things you don't want to do when you're interviewing for these jobs is to appear desperate, like, I really need the money, I really need this job, or it's over for me. Have something else going for your life. And if you're already up there in years, it is what it is. Some of us can make it work with one job, but majority of us, we got something else going, like a side hustle. Sell something on eBay, whether you want to drive the Amazon truck on the weekends, do DoorDash, whatever it is you want to do. You have arts and crafts, you want to teach a class, whatever it is, that's to help you out in your household, whatever works. If maybe you're married, maybe you're not, and you don't need to do that, then that's fine. I'm happy that's working for you. But for a good number of us, we got something else going on. Some of us paint and sell our paintings. Some of us do cooking classes. It's okay. Have something else. If you do photography, because they're going to ask you some of these questions in your evaluation, when you're interviewing for these jobs as well. Like, what do you do for fun? Is this it's kind of, I almost kind of feel like it's code for, do you have another source of income? But yeah, most of us, we're looking for good top pay jobs. But let me tell you something. You run into a job where there's good pay, there needs to be something in return. And that is an excellent work performance and a good attitude, teamwork mentality. Okay. So either there's chemistry with you in the office, or there's not. And be honest with yourself. As I said before, if you don't feel it's for you, then keep it moving. Find something else. Maybe you want to try a whole nother profession. That's all right too. At least be honest with yourself. And you can't be too, I was thinking about this the other day. You can't be too concerned about hurting somebody else's feelings when you're leaving one place. Maybe it's too soon. I don't want to make my boss mad. Let me tell you something. When people are laid off and fired, they don't give a rip about giving you 2 weeks notice. If you're getting fired, they want you out of there. Ain't no 2 weeks notice. See you at lunchtime or the end of the day. That last 30 minutes, meet us in the conference room. You go out to the bathroom and they meet you at the front door, where the conference room is. You don't even make it to your desk. Like, hey, hey, psst, psst, come here, meet us in the conference room. And it's all over from there. Wasn't no 2 weeks notice. Okay. So if you got to do what's best for you, and as a move of respect, before you leave out of there, make sure your workload is in order. Whether they've been nasty to you, have been bitter, don't leave a train wreck behind, at least on your part. Don't do that. Make sure you have a list of all the cases and files that you're working on. Those dates are all calendared, what's needed to be done. Any letters that need to be sent out, get all that in order. So when you hand that to your boss, like, this is where such and such is, this is where I left off, have all that cleaned up, at least on your part. So when you're all done and somebody's going back as a reference, whether you want to list them as a reference or not, they're going to ask, would you hire this employee again? And you left that office with a good attitude. You didn't leave nasty. You didn't high five your coworkers saying, yeah, I'm out of here. Don't do that either. Don't do that. No. Get everything cleaned up, get everything in order, so there's no question for the next person, and they can't say, oh yeah, well, they just left with a mess, I'm glad they're gone. At some point that will come back and bite you in the rear, and Just the fact that you had everything in order, I mean, I think it is a respect move. Maybe you didn't get along with your attorneys, didn't get along with your coworkers, whatever. At least the office management will know, okay, she left things in order when, so whoever's coming in next, they're not feeling their way in the dark. And whatever they got to deal with whoever they're working with, that's their issue now, not yours. Okay? So I'm just telling you, like I said, I'm trying to be your big sis here, trying to help you because reputations are big. When you work in legal, don't you know a lot of them play golf, and you'd be surprised who knows one another. Okay, some of them may even be out there on the field talking about you. Like, yeah, I have this one assistant that used to work for me. Really? Who is it? It's so and so. Oh, really? Oh, now she's at my office. Oh, okay. How do you know? You might be talked about on the golf course. Okay, because a lot of them play golf. A lot of them play golf. They do, and they talk about all kind of stuff. So don't think that your name. It's not a possibility that your name may come up. And if anything does, you just want to make sure your exit is on a positive note. And if it was something you did, don't roll your eyes and stomp out the room. Just, I understand. Just go ahead. Just go ahead and listen. Like, okay, blah blah blah, this and that, and then just go. I mean, what more can you do? It's over. It's over. But as far as you moving on, finding something else, just make sure your work is cleaned up, even if you got to put in extra hours. If it's an issue with overtime, just tell them you have no problem in staying a little late just to make sure things are in order. They will appreciate that for sure. And yeah, it's all about leaving on a positive note. So, as I said before, there's no room for, oh, you hurt my feelings. I don't want to offend anybody. There's no room for that mess. Just leave your feelings at home, get the work done, and keep it moving. Feel free to share what you know. If they don't want to know, fine. But don't walk up in there with a know it all attitude. There's a difference between arrogance and confidence. Okay. And your other support staff will sniff that out. And, hey, you know what you know, they know what they know. And don't be embarrassed by what you know. Don't let anyone make you feel inferior in the office. Because it's a challenge to them because they've been sitting at their desks typing away and eating potato chips. And you've been taking online courses, on IT or whatever it may be. Maybe you're taking a refresher course in civil lit, whatever it is, to help utilize your mind better to present better work, to put you in a better position to be moved up, maybe to paralegal, you know what I mean? Maybe to being over the Department of Legal support staff. And let me say this, if you've been in this field for over, I'm going to say 28, 30 years, and you fussing and fighting and struggling with your attorneys, sweetie, it's time to level up. You are too old in the profession for that kind of drama. Really. Come on now. There are some legal departments where they have designated a person, I forget the name of that title, but all the support staff answers to that person for any issues, any concerns, information that they need to know. Okay, aim for a position like that. Maybe you've aged out of the so-called secretary role. You've been doing this for years. You know this stuff inside and out. And you should also know, who else should be working in that department or in that office as support staff that can get the work done. So to you office managers out there, I think it's a great addition to the office. If you are a big office with 15 to 25 attorneys, I don't see the harm in having someone that's over the support staff. I think it would be a relief to the office managers so they can also pitch in with the hiring process. And you as the HR director, you can be the last person that person talks to. And that would be, this is a candidate that you want, and these are our benefits. This is what we offer. Excuse me. So I think something like that would be of a benefit. I think more offices need to do that. So it can help for the hiring process, that go-to person that's over the legal support staff, they can go through the resumes and do at least the first interview and go through, because you know this stuff already. You know the many persons that you've worked with. You can tell if somebody's lazy, if somebody's just looking for the money, if somebody just has a suck attitude, like, see why you got fired. You know what I mean? They can get all that done for you in advance. And especially if that person is tech savvy, they can help train the new candidate, the new hire. So as an HR person, you can just focus on payroll, the numbers, the bookkeeping, any other systematical things in the office that need to be done. I think it would relieve a pressure off you. So if there's any issues, then that department head, can handle it. Is it something that needs to go to HR? Like, no, there's a little rift between so and so, but I took care of it. Okay, moving on. You know what I mean? So y'all think about that. Some offices have it, some corporations have it for their legal department. I think it's great. You've been in this profession for over 30, 35, 40 years. Stop fighting and fussing with these attorneys. You've been working in this field that long. Come on now. Come on. Already been there and done that. And don't let them push you out. If you want to leave, that's fine. That's up to you. But, there are other positions that can put you in a position like that because you have the experience and the knowledge. People can come to you for whatever they need. So that I like that a lot. So don't be afraid to level up. If you are way senior in this profession for legal support, go for it. And if you're ready to retire, I am happy for you. If I could bake you a cake, I would. I think that's great. But it is a great profession. But a lot of us, it's the work is really being packed on, and it is what it is, and it's kind of a good thing because any office that's lacking in enough work, then there's not enough clients. So a reputation does matter, and you want to be in a good place. It does matter if you have chemistry with the attorneys that you're working with. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, and I think there needs to be honesty with that. Some offices, what they'll do every so many quarters, they'll see who works best with who. And if it's not working out with one attorney and a legal secretary, they'll switch. Like, okay, now we're going to have you work with William, and William's secretary, you work with that other person. I mean, I've been in offices where they did that. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Kind of musical chairs a little bit, but it is what it is, rather than just up and firing somebody and then looking for someone else. Maybe just an attorney switch might help, and it could work out. Some attorneys will ask, can I get so and so on my team? What do you think about that? That's great. They see a skill in you that may come in handy. So be it. Y'all talk about it, and if that works, then go for it. I think that would, before going through all that other process, we're looking for new hires and this and that, just see maybe if an attorney switch between an attorney and a secretary may need to be done. And that's all right. Could save you some money and also an explosion. So there are no fights in the office. So, yeah, yeah, it is what it is. So not going to be long for this video, but just wanted to share just a little background of legal secretaries and legal assistants. When I did my schooling, I did a legal assistant program. So it was paralegal work. And I had some good professors. I remember one of my civil lit professors, he treated us like we were his secretaries. I remember I turned in a paper really late, I was always late with some of my work, and he sent me back my paper with big red letters saying I'm no longer taking any more late work from you from now on. And he gave me the court rule and everything. This is how this is gonna go. When you hand me something, it has to be according to this court rule. And we all got a note on that. The other classmates, and we got our stuff in on time. But he was a really good attorney, and he said that knowing how to write is very important, whether you're doing a correspondence, any kind of grammatical change. What do you call that? Well, proofreading. He said, I would hate to see all of you flipping burgers at McDonald's because you don't know how to write. I'm like, man, when I was in school, this was back in oh man, I'm dating myself here. The 1990s, 1990s, a lot of the people from the legal assisting program where I went, they just went straight to law school. When I graduated from the program, it didn't matter if I had a degree or not. What they were looking for was experience. If you had 10 years plus, you were in the door. If you did not, they would either place you at the front desk as receptionist or stick you in the copy room and tell you keep an open mind. We're going to send some work your way. This is a learning experience. And sometimes it turned out that way and sometimes it didn't. So let me tell you something. If you are graduating from a paralegal program, from whether you a 4-year degree or a 2-year certificate, I'm going to just make it plain, and I'm going to speak to some of my minority sisters out there. You do not have to settle for the receptionist position. Do you hear me? You do not have to settle for the receptionist office assistant position. It is low pay. You're not going to be using your skills. You know what you're going to be? You're going to be the office runner for a cheap price, meaning you're going to be using your car. The mileage may not even be reversible. Reimbursed to you? So stand your ground. You graduated from a paralegal program. Let's look for a position. Ain't none of that, oh, well, we need a receptionist. Turn that. Don't take that. That is a trap. Unless that's where you want to be. Because majority, when I go downtown or when I call around to other to other law offices, law firms, there's always, I'm noticing there's a lot of Black women answering the phones that are sitting at the front desk. Why are you not back there as secretary or paralegal with the rest? What is that? And I see that too many times. If you need the job, you need the job. But come on, if you have the experience, you have the certifications, you graduated, all that stuff, what's going on? Don't settle for that. Don't be somebody's runner. Somebody else can take that job. Find something that you went to school for. It's out there. It really is. You got to look. And it's who you know. Feel free to connect with temp agencies. There's Robert Half Legal. Pretty sure in other states there are other legal temp agencies. PMSI is one. I can't remember the others, but they're out there. But please look, don't paint yourself in a corner. Don't say, oh, well, I don't have that much experience. I don't know if they're going to hire me or not. Don't paint yourself in a corner. You apply and go on the interview and you do your best. There's a fit for you. There's a spot for you. Don't settle for receptionist or being somebody's runner. That is a trap. And I know because I've been there. I'm not saying that's everyone's story, but I do notice that a lot in minorities. We get stuck in the copy room, being the runner, receptionist answering phones, and it's just, no. You got the education to back you. Find a position in that field. can offer pro bono if you need to. I know a lot of people ain't trying to hear that right now, but that's a foot in the door. That's something. And a lot of people these days just don't want to work. So it's out there. And what I'm noticing now, when I got started, it was all about experience, 10 years plus. I would go on interviews and they would turn my resume over and just ask, what can you do? I just got out of school. How do I answer that? You know, the last job was at Taco Bell. I mean, what? I'm like, I'm just fresh out of school. Well, we're looking for someone, who knows this area of law or who knows this field of expertise, or it's not going to struggle if I give them a pleading and they can file it without asking 10,000 questions. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh it's been a trip. And it's been quite a journey. I'm not sorry for the experiences that I've had, because for each job, for each conflict, for each praise, for each excellent evaluation, for each criticism, it has helped me for the next position that I'm in. Okay? So it's not just all about making the money. Feel the profession. I know it can be tense, it can be stressful, but you know what? People's lives are on the line. There are people that have been badly hurt, talking motor vehicle accidents, some that have died, some that have been killed, talking in criminal law. You know what I mean? You're a part of that. So you get to be a part of justice being distributed, or the other way around, setting somebody free. However, whatever side you want to work on, either defense or prosecuting. So that's up to you. But, this more than just a paycheck. And you got to get beyond your feelings. There's always at least one. At least one. It's unavoidable. One difficult person in the office. And as soon as you get there, be good to try to spot who that person is. I'm just saying, so it don't hit you like a ton of bricks, and then you're sending your resume out again. I don't like it here. Hold on. You got to know how to handle people. Everything is not all about you. In my first video, I talked about people projecting their issues on you. Some are intimidated. They see how you work, and it's like, well, who do you think you are? Little Miss Know-It-All sitting over there. I know, because I got called that. Yeah, multiple times. But, I'm not ashamed. I know what I know. And if you want to know some of the things I know, I will show you. But if you're going to be nasty to me, no. And let me tell you something. Let me break it down to you. You don't have to try to be everybody's best friend in the office either. You ain't got to try to be everybody's best friend. Cause I tell you something. If you're getting laid off, if you're getting fired, they're not going to be in the office trying to say, no, let her stay. Please let her stay. She's a good worker. No, you know where they're going to be? Clumped up in the lunchroom or in the copy room saying, man, yeah, they're getting rid of her. Oh, and they're going to be glad that they not the ones. I'm just saying. If you meet a friend or two, that's cool. But don't expect to be best friends with everybody. And some folks you really need to put in their place. I'm sorry. You're not there to be somebody's pushover. Not to an attorney, not to an office manager, not to your co-worker staff. Screw that. You work too hard to be stepped on, to be talked to in a condescending manner. Stand your ground. You gotta have some backbone in this position. And you can do that. You can be nice. You can be nice. It doesn't make you a weak person, but you can be firm as well. If somebody wants you to cover for them, to file a pleading or a motion or an answer to a complaint, the attorney wants them to do it. Here, I just got so much going on. I just can't. Oh, can you do this? No. No, because especially if it's not right, that it has nothing to do with your attorneys or what you're doing. What is this? No, you handle your workload. And if they can't do it, that's a talk they need to have with their attorneys and the office manager about managing and prioritizing their time. Don't get caught up doing somebody else's work and yours fall behind. Don't do that either. Your work comes first. And if you get time, then you can help. I'm telling you what I know. All this dropping and leaving your work behind to help somebody else. Come on, folks can take advantage. Have some balance, know how to prioritize, and know when to say no. Like, I can't do it right now. Are they gonna be pissed off? Yeah. They might call you all the names in the book, but you know what? You got your work done, and your attorneys are happy with it. Keep it moving. You can't be responsible for other people's lack. So, and if there's something, a team protocol about helping each other out, review the protocol and see, but just make sure your work is done first. Especially if the attorney has a demand on when something needs to be out the door. Like, look, I really need this before lunchtime. And somebody's coming to you, I don't know how to do a table of contents. No, they need to ask somebody else or ask the office manager. You ain't got to try to be a Hercules and leave your work behind. You know, don't under or overestimate how much time you got to work on a certain task or an assignment. Especially if the attorney sends you something with that little red exclamation point marked important, meaning you get to that ASAP. Hey sis, can you cover the front desk? I gotta go to my car. I gotta take a phone call. No, ask somebody else. Somebody else in the office can handle that. Especially if you're having a stressed out day too. No, you can say no. Let them get mad. What they gonna do? What they gonna do? Seriously. No, it's okay to say no. It's a word that needs to be used more often. Okay? So, that's my little spiel on that. But, yeah, just make sure you are organized. Make sure if there's anything you don't know. Let me tell you something. I was at one office, and I started off as office assistant, and one of the attorneys asked for me. He wanted me to be his secretary, so that was my foot in the door. I was like, yeah, man, yeah. And boy, that sparked some jealousy amongst the other secretaries because they wanted to work with him. He asked for me, and I always remember him for that because he saw something in me that he wanted to work for me and give me a chance to pull me up out of that office assistant role. Now, office assistant, pretty much the runner, getting the snacks, cleaning up the lunchroom, kind of like the go-to girl. Order office supplies, stacking copy paper, copying papers, putting them together, stuff like that. You know, that don't pay that much, no way. But I was glad to come out of that position, and he gave me a chance, and that was great. I really appreciate that. And when you're going to these offices, you know, feel free to have some goals for yourself. Where do you want to stay legal secretary? Do you want to move up to paralegal? Is there room to grow? You know, there's always room. You don't have to go to law school if you don't want to. It's a lot of money, and law school is not for everyone. And if you want to try a whole nother profession altogether, you're free to do that. Go ahead. I encourage you. You know, if anything, you don't want to get stuck in a rut. But if you like what you do and it works for you, then that's great. So this is a rewarding position, and you really want to be strong in what you're doing and be organized and have things well put together. So my thing is, you know, I'm going to try to wrap this up. My thing is you are in control. You are in control of where this profession steers you. You don't want other people deciding for you what your next step is. Feel free to write some goals for yourself. I don't see this profession going away anytime soon. I know there's AI and all this other stuff, but it's good to have a human being, work side by side as a team, getting things done, and that's able to look at the actual documents and execute properly. So that's all I know for right now. And again, just be encouraged. If there's anything that you don't know, then you need to make that clear. When I was working with that new attorney that asked for me, the office manager, she was cool with it, for a little bit. She wanted me to stay office assistant, but that was only to serve her needs. And that did affect my pay as well. So I'm not there anymore. So, and this, I'm glad. But anyway, when I got started working with that other attorney, she would tell me, okay, don't let him know what you don't know. Let me tell you something, that will burn you raw. If there's something you don't know, you need to ask about it. You need to make sure and find out. Okay, because you will stumble, you'll take longer on projects and assignments. It's something you don't know. Please don't sit at your desk and struggle. That will cost you, and I guarantee that's going to go in your evaluation. Will not ask for help. Okay, if you don't know something, you need to ask. Somebody else there knows. And if you're working around shady co-workers, Google it. Google it and see what it is. If there's the answer right there, or ask your office manager, or just ask the attorney if they're telling you, something you don't know. Ask. If there's something you don't know, just let me know. And some instances, some can. Depending on what it is you're asking, some will be trifling and try to use that against you around evaluation time. Not knowledgeable about X, Y, Z. Well, rather you ask and hear and I don't know than you not ask, than to take up a whole bunch of time figuring it out, and you could have been working on something else, So don't be afraid to let your boss know what you don't know. They're going to find out eventually, because they come around and it's an hour, couple of hours, you're still working on that. What's going on? Do you have any questions? You know what I mean? Hey, ask. I'm like, okay, I'm not sure. And sometimes they don't know when they're giving, when they're asking you to do something. If the attorney, they are not sure of what answer to give you, then ask around. Ask one of the other secretaries. If they don't know, Google it. So don't get caught up in that trap either. So you want to be efficient. I know we're not perfect, but there's help out there. Whatever answers that you need to the questions that you have, something, it's a great challenge. You got something like, man, I never did this before. Well, somebody else has, and they know how to do it. And you need to find out and learn. Help yourself out and avoid the embarrassment, okay? Don't put yourself on Front Street like that. So feel free to ask. Don't let your pride get the best of you. Okay? In fact, just to stuff that down. Kick it out. We don't know it all. We're not asked to know it all. My professor that I worked with when I was in school, he said, what did he say? Oh, gosh. Oh, I had a thought, and then it went away. But anyway, if it's something you don't know, just ask, because you can so end up embarrassing yourself, and it's not worth it. And you, guarantee you'll probably go on your evaluation too. It's amazing how they'll remember situations like that. Sometimes it can even overshadow all the good stuff you did, but they'll hone in on that particular thing. Like, yeah, you spent such and such out. You don't know if they're remoting into your computer or not, watching you work. I've seen it happen. It's happened to me. And I get a phone call specifically about what I'm working on. Like, how'd you know that? Because they can see the screen. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. Don't be playing online, ordering stuff from Amazon. You don't know what all they're going to throw in their evaluation. You wondering why you didn't get that raise or that bonus? Bam, they're going to bring that up. Well, we have a policy and you were still online. We're paying you to work. Not scroll the internet. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't think it's not going to come back and bite you in the rear, because it will. I guarantee. You just want to make sure you're covered. So be encouraged. This is Sisceley for Ask Sis Legal. You enjoy the rest of your week.